welcome to My Mum Said I Could Watch It. There has been some feedback, thank you all for the bits, yellow yodels, about my intros to these things that I'm sort of overdoing the cringe factor in a way that it's becoming an anti-cringe cringe. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, first film by Dimension Pictures, which is going to be a massive part of how this one goes. 1992, I'm pretty much just lend us the film. Vampire campaigns are in full swing, as are A-levels, angsty poetry, really, and you know, frustrations with my English class. So that's where I am when I'm seeing this film, probably even from Blockbuster. At this point, the blue and white has come into full being. I have, again, this film, I've sat through Hellraiser films over the years since. My first memory of this, I'm sure, was just another rental. Watching it now, particularly right now, 23/9/23. Oh, can I just say, it's just bringing up some very difficult issues. I'd like to go, it's the visceral. It's actually relatively tame. It's, let's just say that every stand-up comedian in the UK is banned from the comments at this moment in time. For those of you who haven't seen the film, I still don't know why you do this. Picks up after Hellraiser 2, which I'm sure you saw that, yet didn't see this. What is wrong with you? There was a pillar that emerged out of a mattress, because of course it does. A famous guy with ridiculous hair who owns a massive venue and is just famous amongst young, very emotionally vulnerable, very damaged women. So banned and on brand. Sees this in an art gallery and buys it, takes it back to his place. An incident occurs, blood feeds into it, thus beginning to resurrect Pinhead, the lead Cenobite of the previous two films. He's able to coerce emotionally and with empty promises, so banned, this figurehead for the club, the Boiler Room, which is really nightclub by numbers, movie goth nightclub by numbers, to sacrifice people for him to come to Earth. Meanwhile, on another side of town, Terry Farrell is playing a journalist who keeps on having dreams of her absent father who died in Vietnam. These dreams allow the human side of Pinhead to contact her and warn her of what is to come, as Pinhead, now divorced from his human side, is able to just bend reality on Earth, and if he isn't stopped, will not obey the rules and destroy all of life on Earth and will not be beholden to Leviathan. Chases and scrapes and crying ensues until finally the pins are put back in the box. How this film exists for me, there's two levels. One, it really is the last. There is a Hellraiser key trilogy here that can be argued. Kirsty kind of appears through videos that we don't know that she made. Pinhead himself is kind of resolved, but you also have the start of something which is really grim, particularly because this is the first Dimension films, the Weinsteins. So can you imagine that the Weinsteins are the producers of this sleazy, approachable man, while the man himself just wanders around in the Boiler Room? It has all the motifs that are from the beginning. This is the very first one. This is the beginning of the Dimension era of what a horror film is. The guy who's dragged in. Oh, he's got the hooks from Hellraiser. That's literally it. They're attached to nothing. There is no being there. There's just hooks in the sky and then his face explodes. That absolutely makes no sense. He's not being dragged to hell. There is just these hooks in the sky, just angled on him. That doesn't work. The Cenobites themselves that are created, the false Cenobites, no rhyme nor reason, but the fact that they're so technological as well, just immediately. CD, cameraman, I was just waiting for someone to just zoom out during that was happening. You have the easily misled groupies. You have this junkie girl who's been living with who should ostensibly be the bad guy, just fall from him to Pinhead, acting in that nightmare, manic pixie dream girl, but tragic kind of way that is pretty much all Dimension Films' idea of battered goth. I think we all know who battered them, and it was a giant rabbit called Harvey. Terry Fowles' character starts ostensibly with wanting to be taken seriously with doing real reports, real reportage, but ultimately spends the vast majority of the film randomly carrying the box and running and screaming. The fact that she hands it over, the box itself, so quickly to a ghost of her father, it doesn't really make any sense. Other motifs include such bad CGI. There's the woman and the motifs. They've taken all the motifs. It's kind of like watching a meme at points of the two Hellraiser films. Even the bad guy saying "Come to Daddy." Why? Why would he? That's not going to be part of his thing. Although I've got to admit, maybe I'm quite prudish. I was watching this man having very passionate sex while smoking, and I was just like, that shit's just getting up your nose and in your eyes. There is no way you are having sex while doing this. And it was such a macho posture of discomfort. I just went, that's not like, no, that's just not what's going to happen. Yes, Pinhead is supposed to be throwing the rules out of the window, but the fact is, this film shows that there are no rules. Everything explodes in an arbitrary fashion. Doug Bradley comes out the best of it because it's one where he's able to show the most range with the military side, the human side of Pinhead. At the same time, while he is good at dropping the zingers as Pinhead, one can't help but feel that this really is Channard. This should have been the film where Channard, who had killed Pinhead in the second film for what reason, I don't know. The whole middle act of the second film, where the old guard are attacked by Channard, really should have set Channard up for this third film as the wisecracking character, as a wisecracking demon. Of course, you can't deny the charisma and ability and aplomb of Doug Bradley. But frankly, I wrote a thesis on the Hellraiser stuff. I handed it in a university and everything. The first two work. This is just trailer fodder. I wouldn't bother. Watch the first two films. I do think the second one, the first one is the best. But this is the point where, ironically, once the money has come in, all notion of plot or story has gone completely out the window. I do not believe that the decisions here, given what dimensional fingerprints they are on what horror DNA is, came from Hitchcock's, and certainly not from Barker. So, stick the first two on, enjoy them to your delight. This one, I wouldn't say so much avoid, but it is not going to pay off for you. So with that, it's quite a reluctant review from me. And, get on the internet. They have such sights to show you.